Hey parents, my name is Josh Vaughn. I'm the middle school director here at the Lynn Haven campus of Grace Bible Church. Welcome to the September Parent Huddle. If you don't know already, we have a Parent Huddle every other month. So we have this one here, September, we'll have another one in November, and we typically do it on the first Sunday of every other month. So normally we would meet in here between services, but as you probably already know, life is a little bit different right now. So in between services, we're cleaning all the surfaces, we're wiping everything down, we're trying to get the room flipped for the next group of students to come into a sanitary environment, so it's just not possible. So what we're doing instead is we're coming to you, obviously, via video. So I want today to talk to you about a topic that I feel like all of us can benefit from, and it comes from theparentq.org. So theparentq.org is a website that I use quite frequently, and it has tips on there for how do you love your child in a tough time? How do you help them through anxiety? How do you help them go back to school well? How do you help them deal with technology? There's topics there for most things that I think that you're going to encounter as a parent. Also, we have a ParentQ app that is free in the App Store. You can put in your student's name, their grade, and then you put in that you go to Grace Bible Church, and you'll receive content weekly on that app that'll tell you what we're studying in this room and how you can continue the conversation at home. So I hope that you take advantage of those. I think they're incredible resources, and I think that you'll find them to be helpful as well. So, like I said, this comes from theparentq.org, and this is a topic that some of us, maybe all of us, are at least somewhat familiar with, the idea of the 5 love languages. And this comes from Dr. Gary Chapman. He is a psychologist. He had been working with married couples for years and years and years, and he began over time to see patterns emerge as couples would walk into his office and sit down and say, I don't feel like the love is here anymore. I feel like we've drifted apart. I don't feel loved, or he or she loves me like he used to. And he began to see that all of them were falling into one of these 5 categories. So what would happen is the first spouse would sit down and say, I don't feel like he or she loves me anymore. And the other one would respond, how do you not feel loved? Everything we do together, we go on hikes, we go to movies, we go shopping together, we go on all these vacations, we've done all these things, we spend all this time together. How do you not feel like I love you? Or, I paid for your school, I buy our food for our house, I buy you all of your clothes, I've fully stocked your closet. How do you not feel loved at this point? Or, every day when I come home, I give you a hug and I tell you how important you are and how thankful I am of you for helping to run the household and raise the kids and being a good spouse. How do you possibly not feel loved? And he began to realize that every single person falls into one of these 5 categories with their love languages. We all have a primary and a secondary love language. The love languages are words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, quality time, and physical touch. And we'll leave those at the bottom of the screen. Please write those down somewhere. Put them in your phone. Screenshot this. It'd be good for you to keep these in your back pocket to be able to look through as you figure out what your love language is, your spouse, but also your students. So looking through these, for me, my top 2 love languages are physical touch and quality time. I love coming home. I'm a cuddler, I'm a hugger, I'm a high-fiver. I love people. I love saying hi. If you get to know me, you'll probably notice when I say hi to you, my hand will be on your shoulder pre-COVID, that I like to be close to people, and I'm a people person. But also, with quality time, just spending time with people. That's how I show love. But if I only love my wife through those 2 ways, the ways that I show love, the ways that I receive love, she's not going to feel loved because her primary is acts of service. She would much rather me go and unload the dishwasher and fold clothes than to sit there and watch a movie with me while I, hug her on the couch. That's not going to do anything for her, but that's going to do something for me. So to know how you receive love and how your partner or your child receives love is massively important. So what does that mean for your student? How does this affect your relationship with your child? I think all of us can agree that we love our children. That's a no-brainer. But the real question is, does your child feel loved? It's not do you love them, it's do they feel like you love them? Are you showing them love in the way that they receive it? And if you have multiple children, I guarantee you they're all going to give and receive love in different ways, probably different than you and than their siblings. So the important part is to figure out what their love language is, and then Dr. Chapman would say to make sure that their love tank feels full. He says if their love tank is full, they will be able to better process the rest of their life. So if you feel like your love tank is running on empty, if you don't feel like you're receiving love in the way that speaks to you, that helps you to deal with everyday life, that when hard times come, you're not going to be able to handle them. When things challenge you, you're going to break down. You're not going to know how to healthily love someone. Is that a word? To love someone in a healthy way if you don't feel like you've ever experienced love in a way that's helpful for you. So, how do we figure out what our child's love language is? There's two primary ways. One is just observing them. Watch them. What do they do? How do they hang out with friends? What do they do when they're just relaxed and being themselves? Two is ask, what do they require, or what do they request of you most often? So for me, I always wanted to go and spend time with people and to, like I said before, to be kind of a huggy kind of person, a physical touch kind of person. But it didn't just display itself in hugs. I wasn't really one to go and snuggle with my dad as a kid, but I always wanted to wrestle with my dad. I always wanted to try to take on the old man and see if I finally had what it took to be able to best him, because that was my way of connecting with my dad through physical touch. So know that it may take different forms as your child ages, or depending on the gender of your child, that may be something different. But then what do they request of you most often? So does your kid ask you to, hey, come check my homework. I really want to make sure I did it right. Or, hey, can we watch a movie later? Or let's go throw a ball in the backyard. That's probably means that that they are a quality time type of person. Or if they're one who loves to give gifts and they're really great at birthdays and they know what all their friends want or need and they've thought about it, 3-4 months ahead of their friend's birthday, or they request of you that you give them certain things, it doesn't mean that they're greedy or selfish. It means that that's what they want to feel loved, even if it's something small. Sometimes as small as you coming home with, hey, I saw this pen at work and I thought that you could use it in school because it's also a stylus and you can use it on your iPad. Something little that may not cost you anything would show them that you love them. But here's the kicker. I think all of us are somewhat familiar with these ideas, have heard these before. But if you've made it this far, and I hope you have, there's one piece that was new to me that really changed the way I thought about love languages, specifically with dealing with your kids. He says that we need to wrap discipline in your child's love language. That was a new concept to me. I never heard that before. Because I think human nature dictates that so often we want to pull back on the thing that they receive the most because it'll get their attention. Oh, well, movie night's canceled this week. I know we said we were going to go watch a movie together, but you didn't do your homework, so we're not going to watch this movie. And that makes them feel unloved. And often they don't respond to discipline well if we pull the thing that they need the most away from them. Often they repeat the same problems and they push back when they have discipline because they feel like they are not loved and it's not a safe place. The discipline is not coming from a place of love. And you can cancel movie night. I'm not saying don't do that, but instead say, hey, we're not going to watch a movie tonight. We need to talk, so let's go for a walk. And you're still spending time with them, but you're talking with them through the thing that they did wrong. Your homework didn't get done. We need to talk about that. Your teacher called me. Let's take a walk and talk about what's really going on and how I can help you. That way they feel loved, they have discipline, but they also feel like it's a safe place. So maybe as you walk through this, it helps you to think through, what is your child's love language? How do you speak to them? How do you love them well? How do you discipline them well? Then how do you help them just become a healthier person? So if you have any questions about any of this, I don't promise to have answers, but I promise to be here to help. I want to partner with you. I want to be an advocate for you, and I want to be a listening ear. So feel free to email me. I'm going to put my email at the bottom here, josh.vaughn@gracebible.church. I'm glad to give out my cell phone number. If you send me an email and say that you want to talk sometime, we can schedule something. But I'm here and I am for you, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in November for our next Parent Huddle. Have a great week.